Hey guys, welcome back to Wise Kracks. We have, of course, Randy McKay on this week and every week of the NFL season. He's going to be our special guest. And John, he couldn't wait. He's like, no, I can't wait. I have to just turn me on, even though I'm in my car. I have to hear Randy's picks. So Jon Orlando here, fresh off a Gamblers Anonymous meeting, but that's okay. It's good. It's not. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Hey, wait a minute. Real quick. I won't say his name unless you want to. I played in a poker tournament with your buddy the other day.
Yes.
And I would like to know.
Table, right?
I did, but I'd like to know if he gave you any sort of report card for my skills.
Yeah, he said he wants to play with you every day.
Lies. You're a liar. You're a liar.
No, I'm joking. He said
you did good.
No, he said you. And by the way, he's a pro. He won many tournaments. He has World Series bracelets. He has many different. He's too humble to tell you that. You probably don't even know he's got a bracelet. And
yeah, I don't know.
He's real humble, and he'll never tell you. He just won $100,000 bounty, which was unbelievable. $1,000 tournament, and he won 5 bounties. 4 of them were 1,000, and the last one was the 100,000. So he was so excited. He was so excited for that. He called me up and says, "Bill," he said, "you have to help me. I have to buy a car." He said, "My car is about 7 years old. I need a new car." So I helped him. And then he goes to the dealership and he says, "I can't do this. These cars are $35,000." I said, "Well, what do you think a brand new car is? That's cheap, $35,000." Yeah. He was thinking he lives back in the '80s, and I understand. I love the '80s. He's like, "You sent me over to the Toyota dealership, but like 36,000, 35,000." I said, "That's what you have to buy one of them though. This is what a car costs." I mean,
that is cheap. Yeah.
No, that was cheap. So he got a new car. But yeah, no, good job. And John, would you come in 7th?
Yeah, 7th.
Yeah, that's
crappy money.
Too.
Still crappy money. Yeah, you got to finish top 2 in those. You got
to finish. Yeah, you got to finish in.
But
top.
I just wanted to see if he gave me any sort of respect or anything to you, because I know you don't think I can play.
I didn't say that. You play on.
You didn't say it, but you thought it.
No,
right, we can argue. We don't have to argue in Randy's presence. We can argue later on. Let's talk NFL.
Randy, coming off week 1, which was it's a mixed bag week 1. I'm looking at in general, the teasers are. I tell you what, I have to sit back and maybe wait for a couple teasers now. That Cincinnati game bothered me so much, Randy. It knocked me out of half my survivors, and I thank God I didn't use all Cincinnati, but I used Seattle and Buffalo mixed in. It knocked me out of a bunch of them, and knocked out 5,000 people actually. Between all of the things, literally we have a survivor contest for people that don't know it in county, or $14.2 million, $1,000 entry. So tons of people in there. Out of the 14,200 people, 5,000 got knocked out the first week. So,
wow.
Again, Seattle was good for me. Buffalo, but at one time Buffalo didn't look good right in the beginning. It looked like there was going to be total carnage right in the beginning. So, but anyway, so for the teaser leg, which is the easiest teaser leg of the week, supposedly, Cincinnati, yeah, they got to beat New England. But yeah, a lot of money came in on New England late. There was actually some 7.5 dog 20s late before the game. But all right, that one didn't come in. Green Bay side came in. The Colts side came in, and teaser, and so did Dallas. The Giants and Cincy didn't. Tampa Bay was good. Jets were bad. What do you got this week?
Yeah, this week I lost 4 survivors as well on Cincinnati, so I still got 6 left in the circus. So doing okay there, and but a little disappointed. Contest, 500 a week, nothing too great. The other contest, people did pretty well. I got 3 plays this week, but the main thing I want to talk about in week 2 NFL is line movement, and we've already seen it. And you'll see a lot of big spreads this week. So I got about 8 of them that have moved. Baltimore opened 8.5 up to there were some 10s earlier. The LA Chargers going to Carolina, that line came out as 4, and now it's up to 6, and it was getting close to 7 there for a little bit too.
Yeah.
That would be a plug your nose play if you want to take Carolina the way they looked the first week.
That line
Detroit,
may go back up too. A syndicate group released it a little while ago, but that line may go up. There's people are betting charge. No one's betting Carolina after that first week.
yeah, definitely. And another one, Detroit opened 6 up to 7.5 in the playoff rematch game here against Tampa Bay. But that might have to do with the D-backs for Tampa Bay are injured. They got about 2 or 3 guys, so wait on the injury report there. That plus 7.5 still looks pretty decent with them. I think they're still pretty decent spot, but I haven't bet that one yet. Another one, Jacksonville, Cleveland. That game opened 4 and down to 3 after Cleveland's dismal performance there on Sunday. So that's another one that's moved. Arizona against the LA Rams. Arizona's at home. That's another one where the favorites have flipped from -1 to now Arizona's favored. That has to do a lot too with the LA Rams injuries, plus playing Sunday night and an overtime game. Not a good spot there for the Rams. And then a couple games we'll get to. The Kansas City Cincinnati opened 4 was a look ahead. That peaked up to +6 or some 5.5s in the market now. And then the last one, Sunday Night Football, and I have a play on that one as well. And I'll talk about the 3 games after this.
Lots of movement, lots of overreaction.
Chicago
week 1
from 4 to and there were some +7s there as well. So a lot of love for the Houston team earlier this season. They look like a team that we're going to fade quite a bit this year. So I'll get to my 3 picks now.
Yeah, Circa actually opened up that game 7. I was surprised over Chicago. So all right, let's go to your official picks, which are available now on the lines, because that's the key. The key is giving out a line that's obtainable. So what do you got, Randy?
So and then I was going to mention too, I had a couple add-ons last week on Sunday. There was some games that the Colts went to +3. I took that. And then there was a big freight train on the Atlanta Falcons. I got +4 with the Steelers. So anytime I'll do those, I'll tweet them out underneath the link for this podcast.
What is your Twitter? Just tell everybody what your Twitter is, so you'll tweet them out right before game time. Any additions? Because we film this on Wednesday. So your Twitter is at RR39. Is that right?
That's correct. Very easy. At R39, and I'll add it to the bottom or just retweet this podcast. So that'll work out pretty good.
All right. What do you got?
Okay. First game tomorrow night, Miami. This was a look-ahead game for me. I took it at -2. I believe there's still some 2s out there, late 1.5 and 2. So not really giving out anything that isn't available. And like I said, this was one of the look-ahead games of the year. The home teams are usually good here on these Thursday night games off the short rest. And we're going to pick against this Buffalo defense. It didn't look very good week 1. Gave Billy a big sweat here in the Survivor.
Yes. Look, they won. Arizona probably should have won. I mean, Arizona could have won. First half, they looked great.
Had a hard time stopping the Arizona Cardinals, and we got a better offense here in Miami. Hopefully, our wide receiver doesn't get arrested before the game. That would
that was wild.
That would be a big plus. So hopefully, no shenanigans there. And this game should be very high scoring and a lot of action because Buffalo's defense is pretty ugly. A lot of injuries, a lot of turnover. Their offense is dependent on this Josh Allen. He's a good quarterback, but we saw against Arizona, he turns the ball over if you make him do too much. He had a couple bad turnovers in that game, but they still pulled out that win against the Arizona team. And this is a big game for the division as well. I see Miami getting this game, and then later in the year they got to go to Buffalo in the cold. I don't like that spot for the Dolphins, but I think they'll get this one.
Okay, there's one. Miami -2. All right, what's next?
Now we're going to go to that game that killed us in Survivor, the Cincinnati Bengals This game opened 4 up to 5.5 or +6. I took some 6, but 5.5 is available now. This is a big matchup. Of course, look at the injury reports. A thing that killed the Bengals last week. So one of their main wide receivers, T. Higgins, did not play. He's supposed to probably be back this week. And then Jamar Chase, their other wide receiver, had been a holdout, and he had like a flu. So they're getting back their 2 big guns. Another week to prepare for Burrow and company. Kansas City fat and happy after their big win. They're in week 1 on a Thursday night. These 2 teams match up well, been very close the last few years. Cincinnati's kind of had KC's number a little bit. So I like getting a whole bunch of points and getting line value here as well. Like I said, this was 4 on the look ahead, up to 5.5 and 6 will probably close more in that 6 range. So I like the Bengals here in this spot.
We'll be able to get 6, I think, by game time again. People are not betting Cincinnati after last week's performance against the Patriots. So, okay, so that is a pick that's like I said, opened up 6, 6.5, down to 5.5. But I have a funny feeling that game will go back to 6 closer to post time when the public comes in and starts betting their favorite Super Bowl champions, Kansas City. All right, what do you got next?
And that's one thing Billy and I do pretty well is read that market. We usually get a pretty good feel of where the market's going to go. You know, you got to look at these spreads early in the week. It's worse. Sunday night, I was looking at the opening numbers, and then you got to look at the closing numbers. And you can kind of tell through injury reports and that other things, parlay liability and where the books might need, where you want to take a book or take a different line at a different price. So getting a higher price, you always want to try to get the best price on the numbers. So that takes a little skill that people need to know, and you need to have a service too to look at some of the different books and
a line service. Yeah,
you're doing that.
Yeah, all right. I agree. All right.
Last quick question on the Chiefs.
Sure.
You guys don't subscribe to some of my theories, I wouldn't imagine, which is you don't have to bet on Mahomes, but definitely never bet against him. I feel like he's the new Brady, and there's just no reason. Stay away. But you guys don't subscribe to these silly little things that come out of Jon Orlando's mouth.
We're on the other side of that. Kansas City doesn't cover a game. They're a historical team that doesn't cover games because there's so much tax on them when you bet them. So I think Randy will say the same thing. I mean, they haven't been, even though they got, lucky. I'm not lucky, but I mean, that game easily could have went to overtime last week by 1/2 an inch. Baltimore just missed going to not even overtime. They were probably going for 2, which meant that Kansas City would not have covered. They're not a good covering historically good covering team. Am I right, Randy?
Yeah, in fact, they had less covers last year than they had covers. So they were worse against the spread last year till they got to the playoffs. Then they covered every game.
Different animal, yes.
And then they covered, of course, the first game. So they're on a pretty good roll against the spread coming into this Cincinnati game. But
that's right. All right.
Getting these extra points against a team that I think still will win this AFC North Division looks like a pretty good spot here with the Bengals.
Okay, cool. All right, so we got the Bengals for your second play. What are you closing up? What's in the bullpen here?
Sunday Night Football, another team that's very popular with the market. You have the Houston Texans. This line opened 4, went up to 7. We grabbed it at 7. I think it'll go back. Still some +6s out there. Some pretty good, but I think, with the movement here, we'll see a +7. I like that this quarterback for the Bears didn't look good in week 1, but he's got a game under his belt. And this Houston Texans defense, maybe not as strong. I think we're going to see some shootouts in their games. So getting any kind of points is a premium here, and this is going to help out. And, this rookie quarterback, both quarterbacks are young. Of course, Stroud had a big season last year, looked good in the first week. They're coming off a division opponent into this game against the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, very good defense that pulled that game off last week. So this could give Stroud and company some trouble here. And hopefully the Chicago Bears upgraded their offensive line, can run the ball, control some clock, and then the rookie can gain his feet here, Caleb Williams, and have a big game. So, we already bet at +7. I think it'll go back to that number. It'll be close to that anyway by game time. So that's my third pick, the Chicago Bears.
Good. All right. You got a triple play there. Now, John, if you notice his games there, he's got a couple of nice dogs. So now would something like that interest you? No, you're against Kansas. You've never been against Kansas City.
I love betting on dogs, but I'm here to tell you, if the Chiefs don't go to the Super Bowl, the Texans are definitely going to the Super Bowl.
Oh boy!
And
we got a good chance to go 2-0 this week, Randy.
Yeah. So I, in Stroud we trust, and in Mahomes we trust.
So guys, on Sunday Night Football, usually by the end of the day, depending on how the favorites do, sometimes you'll get some extra half points here and there on those dogs. So you never know. Chicago, I think it'll be at least 6.5. But if you can buy up this +7 minus $1.20, which probably you can't, but most of the shops don't do it now. But anyway, I just think you got to put a little common sense into your logic of when you're going to bet these games. Public is all over Houston, all over, of course, Kansas City, but that's not a primetime game. But so these are factors that you want to put into your decision making also. Well, great, thanks, Randy. You want to stay around for a little bit? We'll go over. I have a couple things to go over about sports betting, and I put a tweet out 2 days ago, which I haven't looked at it today, but yesterday it had 250,000 views. It's up to 264,000 views. It's about that Bet365, what they did there. You've heard about that, Randy? What they did on the Monday Night Football?
Yeah, where they tried to. The guy got very good value on a prop, and then they tried to give him the line that they wanted to give him rather than accept the bet that was already there. I saw that.
Yeah, basically they wanted. So he bet Jordan Mason over 13.5 rushing yards, and which of course you have a running back that's behind McCaffrey. So McCaffrey was announced out, and Mason was playing, and so he bet $100, $100, 100 and whatever, 115, I think it was 120 to win 110 to win 100, 110 to win 100, and after the game was over, they said, "Oh, wait a minute, we didn't know McCaffrey was out. You got this before us, and we can only pay you $1 grocery dollar profit." They tried to give him $101 is what they tried. $111 they tried to give him back. So he went to Twitter with this, and just as I seen it, I grabbed the Bet365 in New Jersey. Absolutely a shame and shameless for doing this to your customers. I'm just going to read my tweet. This is unfortunately the standard now in the business. These folks can do whatever they want because there's no one to police it. Gaming, listen, really, gaming has their backs. It's gaming in these other jurisdictions. I always say they basically don't even know what 11 to 10 is. They were thrown sports betting last minute. So they didn't really do any big search. They're looking over blackjack, crap games, and different things that go on in the casino. They really don't know the terminology or the pulse of the sports book, and you have to know that in order to make decisions on it. So, listen, no one should give this company a grocery dollar of business in the future based on what. Now, of course, they came back and apologized after they had millions of views on this video. Like I said, 264 is mine. Oh, you know what? We're sorry. We're going to pay that. Yeah, we're going to pay you on that. Well, of course you should pay us because it's real simple. Every single person in the sports book, every single person, their goal is to try to find or listen or watch some information that gives them an inkling of an edge or what they perceive to be an edge. Let's be honest. So once in a while, something does come along like this where, hey, McCaffrey's not playing. Well, the other guy's got to, whoever's playing in this place has got to get a lot of yards. Let's bet over on the running back. So it's not our fault, our meaning the customer's fault, if we have information before you guys do. You should pay for information. You're charging us 11 to 10. You're holding our tickets. You guys should pay for somebody to monitor socials, monitor beat reporters. You don't have to monitor beat reporters. All you have to do is be on ESPN notifications for this one. This was a giant one. So, it's just ridiculous they didn't want to pay. And I went after them a little bit because they're one of the sweatshops anyway. Do you agree, Randy? I mean, what a terrible look.
I've played with this company in Colorado and already limited a course. To get paid by these guys after you get limited, they made me send in like 5 different documents and this
really
that should be illegal. It should be illegal what they do. They bust your balls. They bust your balls.
Yeah, they're really bad at that kind of thing. They don't like to lose money, and they don't like any kind of winning players. So anybody out there, I don't give a big endorsement to this company. There's better ones out there that you can put your money on, and one that Billy and I play at, Circa, is in most of the states. So definitely look at playing with them.
Yep. Listen, Bet365 is a multi-billion-dollar corporation too. They're giant. They're across the pond. They're big out of the country. So, Randy, next thing I want to get into, Randy, I think you'll agree with me here. The live wagering. I seen delays this weekend that were so bad. They're so much worse than they used to be. And there's no other way. I'm not saying no one's cheating, but I am a cynical person, and I am a guy that's been around this 30 years. I'm sorry. Only wager during commercials, because they have you on a delay on the app. They have you on a 10-second TV delay. You're talking 30 seconds or more that the risk departments are ahead of you. So I'm sorry to say, if you bet and you're betting Team A, and Team A is at the 30-yard line, and they get down to the 20 on the next play, you'll see you're in a queue spinning and spinning and spinning, and your bet gets denied. But if you got sacked or didn't gain anything, your bet will be accepted. That's the way I feel, Randy. What's your take on this?
Yeah, definitely always with live wagering, wait till a commercial, end of the first quarter, halftime. Way better off making sure you're not getting, like Billy would say, free rolled by the company, even though they would deny that they're doing that. And there's too much suspicion there as far as that goes. So
this weekend was so bad, Randy. I seen it. I was like, oh my God. I want to bring John into the conversation too here, because
wait, hold that thought. I have a question on live wagering.
Yeah.
Let's just say the Cowboys are playing the Steelers, and the Steelers are the underdog, and it's the Cowboys are up by 2 touchdowns, and now the Steelers have the ball on the 50 and they're driving. Is there ever a world where you guys would anticipate, I think the Steelers are going to score on this drive, and I'm going to bet them live before they actually score to get the better odds and kind of roll the dice like that? Or no? Did that make any sense?
I don't know if I understand the question. In other
so,
words,
like, if the Steelers are down by 3 touchdowns, let's say, and they're already the dog, and you want to bet that they're going to come back and win, and when they're down 3 touchdowns, let's say they're plus, 425 or something.
It'd be a lot more than that, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, or more than that. And they're driving. Would you rather get the bet in now than wait until they score, because then the odds might come down again? Well, no, I guess is what I'm saying.
You'd rather get the bet in now, because you're
right.
The public loves to bet the favorite. So the public, even though Dallas is winning, the public's like, they can't lose. They're up by 3 touchdowns. So you're probably getting, I don't want to say the best of it, because there's so much of a in between spread margin, but the proper side of that, if you're going to make a bet, would probably be the dog there, John, because the favorite, you're going to be paying way too much.
Right.
It's already, the public loves betting favorites. Let's see what Randy's take is on that.
But do you guys look for games where you can really take advantage of in-game betting? with a team that's losing?
Randy would know more about that than me because I don't do a lot of live wagering, though I did check this weekend.
I've done live wagering the last 4 years, or actually 5 years now, since the legalization, and there's some good opportunities, and a lot of times you're getting a nice plus price against that team trying to make the comeback. And sometimes you can get buried too. Sometimes like this, I'll give you a good example. This past week, we kept betting the Giants to come back against Minnesota, getting really good numbers. The Sportsbook kept giving us, 1-2 points better, and that didn't work out so well. But most of the time in the NFL, they do come back. So we've done real well on that, to your point. But again, it's all numbers orientated.
So what Randy's saying is 1 or 2 points better. He compares many different sports books. Some of the ones that he considers sharp live wagering houses compared to maybe an antiquated or slow-moving line. He kept on getting a good, juicy price there, some low-hanging fruit, he thought, but it doesn't always work out. That's why you have to use bankroll management. So, but to answer your question, I think when there's a big team like your Kansas City Chiefs playing on Monday Night Football, they go right down in the first drive in the first quarter and score. Well, everyone in the book says, oh, this is going to be a slaughter. This is unbelievable. I knew it. And, automatically they go to their live wagering and they see that the 7-point favorite is now up to, 12.5. They still laying there with both hands. They don't care. But meanwhile, there's probably a tax. The real number should be 11.5. There's probably a tax put on that from the knowing which way the public's mindset is, the way Jon Orlando's mindset is. There you go. Yeah. I wanted to go on to. I was going to bring you into this because I wanted to see what your thought is. I know Randy and I think probably the world of it. See, Westgate now has 108 on NFL, which means you're laying $108 to win 100 rather than $110 to win 100. 109 on college football, and on Thursdays, NFL is actually 105 on NFL sides. I think it's a game changer. I really do, Randy. I think this is unbelievable for someone like me that bets a lot of value. I look to the Westgate first because if I'm betting $1,000, I'd rather lose 1,080 if I'm going to lose than 1,000 and then 1,100. That's $20 times so many bets. I'm all in at Westgate almost every week. A giant number. So this is really a game changer for me, I feel. And your opinion, Randy?
Yeah, anytime you can get a reduced juice is very good. Unfortunately for me, the Superbook left Colorado and other states and now only operate in Nevada. So that hurts me. But this week, and I'll give a report next week, I'm going to try the Sports Trade, which is exchange, and they're offering minus 104 on both sides.
Yeah, I didn't know you guys have Sports Trade in Colorado. It's there in New Jersey too, right?
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work on my Android phone, but they reached out to me and are going to send me an iPad to use. So I'll give you guys a nice report on Sports Trade.
Yeah, I never used them. I want to know about them.
They've been really friendly as far as when you sign up. They give you a text right back from a host or somebody, and he said, "Why? How come you haven't set up an account yet?" Or I said, I set up an account, but I couldn't get to work on my Android phone. And then he said, "Yeah, we're only iOS right now." So he's sending me an iPad, and
wow,
a little update this week.
How cool! So now we know how to get free iPads. All right, excellent. All right. But let me ask you, Jon, the reason I wanted to bring you into it. Now, would that be something, because I'm just worried about, like, the Westgate. It's a great thing to do, but I'm thinking only the sharp guys are going to fund their accounts there. Like, does that really matter to someone? Like, not really,
we
2 cents?
We don't care, Bill.
I didn't think so. No, I'm not making fun.
I speak for the common man, the common degenerate.
I really didn't think so. I was really thinking, I said, I'm going to ask Jon live on the show. So, anyway, that's one little segment there I thought would be good. Hey, how about this, Randy?
Those lines, though. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was talking about the Tropicana, the implosion of the Tropicana. I've been in town for some of the real big implosions. They always make a festival, big party around it. Over the years, like Steve Wynn, when he blew up the casino to build, I think it was the dunes. He built up he blew up the dunes to build the Bellagio. So, like, it's a big thing, though. It's, like fireworks and the rows of the building, all the dynamite there blowing it up. the Tropicana has announced a weird one. They're going to do a 2:30 a.m. implosion of their two towers, October 9th. Yet they're having a firework and drone show. Like, I don't get 2:30 in the morning. Who's up 2:30 in the morning? I don't even get it. October 9th. Have you guys ever? The question was, I want to ask either one of you guys. Have you guys ever seen any of the implosions in town? Were you guys here for any of them? And like, which ones was it? There was one of them at the Hilton across the street, like a spaceship. It looked like. I can't think of the name of it right now. But I know when that blew up, and half of it went, half of it didn't. It's almost like it didn't want to go.
The landmark? No, not
the landmark. Is it? That's it. That's it.
Landmark.
The landmark.
Landmark. Wow, you guys are old enough.
I saw the dunes. I saw the dunes, and yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And Randy, you ever see any of them?
I was down living in Laughlin at the time, and I watched it because, of course, where I worked at the Golden Nugget, I was a craps dealer, and Steve Wynn, of course, owned the Golden Nugget, and he had that on all the TVs. So I watched it at one of the casino bars there. The dunes go down, and that was pretty exciting. I remember the Aladdin going down too. That was another one that went down.
Nice.
With a pretty big publication out of it. Was
Hollywood, right?
I was never in Vegas for any of them, so sad to see the Tropicana go. Billy and I both have a lot of good memories there.
Oh man, that place had some great shows there over the years. I'm friends with Andrew Dice Clay, and I've been there many times with him, the comedy club, and over the years though, that was Frank Costello in New York.
Oh,
when he got shot, they caught in his pocket. They had the Tropicana crap figures for the day. It was a big loser in there for the day, and he was following this big gambler around. They had a piece of it. Everyone had a rabbi here in town, so that was their place. Just like people don't know this, like Caesars, even though it was Caesar's Palace, Jay Sarno, Fat Tony's Fat Tony. Oh boy, I not know his last name. Anyway, Fat Tony's the one who had the piece of that. Like, I just found out there's a whole story that came out about Fat Tony. So I just was like, wow, I had no idea. Tony would actually call people that he thought. I found out from someone in town that's 83 years old that he said, listen, he sent for me because I had a guy over here, a friend of mine, we were counting cards together. I sent for you. You're lucky they get killed. Like, I was like, wow, they sent for people back in New York, and they give you a pass. But someone was counting cards and Caesars. He's like, that's my joint. So, boy, John, I'd love to get him on the show. I'd love to get him on the show. I think you know who it is. Jesus,
I think
he's
I know
got some
it.
Stories. Yeah, Randy, you know who he is too. Yeah, I mean, what great? Doesn't he have some great stories of the old days? Tony Spilatro and Herbie Blitzstein. He's got some stories, boy.
We gotta get him.
Yeah, we gotta get him. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Our sponsor's been in business 30 years. So heritagesports.eu. 30 years. They've been around a long time. They still have their 100% bet. They still have their 100% bonus going, which is a free bet, 100% deposit. They also have the get out of your bet at halftime, up to $250. So if you bet a game with them, and they pick a game every month, and if you don't like your side, obviously you should bet the game no matter what, because no matter what, if you don't like your side, you can get out at the halftime to get your money back. The reduced juice is what I'm talking about, though. 108, just like Westgate. They have 108 juice on their games. They have different things, like things you can't do here too. They have bets like presidential odds and stuff you can't do here. But yeah, they've been around for a long time, 30 years, and they're solid as they come. So 108 juice. Lastly, Randy, do you know Anthony Curtis? Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him real well.
Oh, good. I didn't know you knew him real well.
I actually, he sponsors me and gives me a free book every year, and I promote his LVA website. So
wow. So I'm promoting his website here for nothing. I gotta get this book. I was gonna talk about. We've had him on the show already. LasVegasAdvisor.com. The book pays for itself 100, not 100, but I'll tell you what, 30 times over if you use all the coupons and stuff. But some stuff is absolutely free if you go to LasVegasAdvisor.com. And I seen something on his podcast this week And I said, I got to tell my guys this. I'm not a person that says, oh, I don't want to talk about anyone else's podcast. I want to help everyone. I gave 4 podcasts out a couple of weeks ago for you guys should watch, one of which was Las Vegas Advisors podcast. So on their site, they have some stuff that's behind a paywall, some stuff that isn't. This is not behind a paywall. There is some fantastic articles and gambling information. It was called, once you go to the site, there's a little search on top. Just put in 3 numbers, 888. It was called the 888 experiment. You go to the site, put it in, 888 in the search engine, top right. All these articles pop up there. These are articles on restaurant. These are up to date too. Restaurant reviews, show reviews, gambling deals, gambling reviews. Some of the best places to gamble. They just did a whole thing on buffet things. I mean, what a great free site. So shout out to Anthony Curtis. And yeah, I'm going to be looking for my free book here, Anthony.
Just in case anybody didn't see, here's the book.
Oh, that's the book. He's got it.
Yep.
That's the book of deals. Yeah. And now every week you get a every week are you on the online version where every week you get the online version of what's going on for the week, right?
Yeah, and
every month. Every
monthly
month.
one's really good.
The monthly one, that's what I mean. The monthly one shows you what's going on in town. I think it's like, what is it, like $60, Randy? What do they charge you for a year?
Yeah, I think it's only like 60, but you get it all with that book.
Oh God. Just some of the gambling coupons in there. But anyway,
I got a question.
Yeah,
I got a question for both of you. And a little update. Bill, we talked about this before we started rolling, but we will have a new studio November, December over at the Palazzo. We'll have a studio.
Some people are asking. It's amazing. All the good stuff we give out. You get some of these miserables, all they talk about is the bad thing. I'd say they got nothing to do. This is their whole life. So yeah, they were asking, but yet they watch the show. That's the funny part. But we'll
be inside the Palazzo, inside the new poker room over there. Wow. Which, if you haven't seen the new poker room, it's amazing. And they're building a studio in the back of the poker room, and we will be in there. And I also wanted to ask you guys. So here's my question about the Palazzo poker room. They have a promotion going on, a high hand promotion every 30 minutes. And you get to pick it's a mystery high hand. It's a mystery, the prize. So you get to reach into a thing, pull out an envelope, and it could have anything from $0 to $1,000. Okay. So, or maybe it's $50 to $1,000. So you automatically get something, of course. Yeah. So let's say you pull out an envelope for $300. They then give you a chance to risk it or keep it. So if you choose to risk it, you get to draw out of another barrel of envelopes where there could be $0 all the way up to $10,000. So my question to you guys is, if you draw the $300 envelope, are you risking it or are you keeping it? And if you draw the up to $1,000, are you risking $1,000 to maybe get $0 or pull the one that says 10 grand? What do you guys
I'm not risking. You picked the number right. $300 for me is the number. $300 risk. $1,000 I won't risk to go for the 10,000.
Okay, what about 500?
500. That's the number I'll probably stop. I'll probably take the 500. What about you, Randy?
Really?
Yeah.
Randy, what about you?
And then, of course, if you can get a little inside information, how many envelopes are in there?
Of course.
They're the 10,000.
What?
Poker players share information like that. So that would be something you could dictate whether you're gonna keep what you got or go for it. So you could get a little inside information, I think, on those. So
Randy has had inside
500
information.
numbers, pretty good.
Yeah, he has had information like this in the past on
Randy is the best advantage mystery bounty player in the country.
You can't just play on the level, Randy. You got to try to steal. Jesus. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Well, guys, it's been another great episode of Wise Kracks. We appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be back, all 3 of us, next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you, guys.